Here's an old junk guitar that I've got, and I'm gonna make a video with this thing and show my method for replacing a fret in a fretted instrument. This will apply to a guitar or a banjo or a mandolin or whatever. I'm just going to do one fret in this thing and show you kind of my method for doing it. We just picked out a random fret. We're going to use the 5th fret on this demonstration, and here's our little homemade fret spanning tool, and this is what you use to check if one's high. And you hear that clicking? You can hear that one's a little bit high. Now this is just a demonstration, so you're going to have to assume that this fret has got some wear, it's got grooves in it, and it needs to be replaced. Right here is my tool. It's a Weller soldering iron, and I've cut the tip of it in two and got little rounded out spots filed in it. And that way, when you put it on the fret itself is making the connection. This is a much quicker, I learned this from Frank Ford. This is a much quicker way of heating those frets up. That puts the heat to them pretty quickly. And there it is. Now we're going to take our little calipers and measure the width of this fret. And it measures about 79 thousandths or somewhere in that range. And that would correspond to Stuart McDonald's 147 fret wire. So that's what we're going to use. Here's a small 3-cornered file. What we do, we just cut a little bitty bevel on top of that, and the next luther that comes along has to take a fret out. It won't be so hard to get out without chipping the wood out. Now we're going to take this piece of fret wire. I'm going to let it run longer than it needs to be. We're going to set it up here. Here's my little brass hammer. That's a homemade handle I made for it out of dogwood. And we're going to drive this fret down in here. It's probably going to be a little high because these other frets have been filed off before. Now, we're going to cut the ends off. You want to be careful with those things, not let them fall around where they can get under a guitar, because they'll sure make a place on them. Now here is what I learned from Frank Ford. This is thin super glue. We're going to run it down in here and let it wick down in that slot. And you need to have a paper towel ready. Wipe off the excess here. And this is some acetone and a rag. And we're going to clean that excess glue off of there. And that's just some insurance to keep the fret from popping up later on. Now we're going to check this thing again, and it's still high. And we're going to take us a magic marker here, and we're going to mark these, darken the top of these frets. If we was putting all of them in there, we'd darken all of them, but we're just showing the procedure here. Here's a little homemade safe edge file that I've had for several years. Now we don't have any rock in there. Now what I usually do is I've learned to use this electrical tape instead of masking tape. It's a little tougher. And we'll usually cover the whole fingerboard with this electrical tape. I need to use this 3-corner file first. We're going to crown this fret. And this is a safe edge file. You don't want to leave the top of these flat. You want to round it over, crown. And here's a little diamond file. It's a 360 grit. Now here's a little piece of art gum. And I'll use that as a holder for this sandpaper. Now we're going to jump up to about a 1500 grit. Now we're going to work on the corners of these frets. This little Stuart McDonald file. And you just want to take that sharp corner off that fret there. Now, we're going to check this. It's not high anywhere across there. We've got a little piece of 4/0 steel wool. Sometimes your fingers are the best thing you can use on these frets. Now there's one fret put in. That's this is the one I put in right here. They look so much alike I couldn't tell. But anyhow, there's the one we replaced. So that's my method for doing that. I usually put a little bit of mineral oil. And that's the way we do it here at the Nichols Repair Shop.